Welcome to the Fans Perspective Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Slow. I have my good brother Chris here with me. Chris, how you feeling, man?
I'm doing well, brother. How you feeling?
I'm good, bro. And
Yeah,
for you all that don't know, Chris also just celebrated a birthday this past week. So, again, happy birthday to you, my brother.
I appreciate that acknowledgement. I'm taking all birthday requests. If y'all need my Venmo, my Cash App, my Apple Pay, you just
Hold
let me
on.
know. You
Hold
know.
on, man. So, me and you, bro, we've been talking. We got a lot of stuff going on. We got March Madness has arrived finally.
Yep.
And we've seen some really good games. I'm not sure if we'll get that Cinderella story that we've been looking for, and we'll be able to speak to that here soon. But one of the main topics I want us to focus on, because it's huge right now in the NBA, and I think it means a lot to the NBA at the moment. But the league expansion, which
Right.
we pretty much know that this was going to happen. It's just a matter of when. But the league is now talking about expanding to one back to Seattle, and then Las Vegas being able to get a team there on their end. So initially, bro, just what's your thoughts on the NBA wanting to expand, and do you think this is a good thing for the NBA?
I mean, I would be excited for an expansion. I don't feel like it's a
Mm,
necessity at this point in the NBA. I
yeah,
think that we're okay with the 30 teams that we have, and if they do expand, I think that you still need to expand it to an even number of teams. Um, if you're going to make that expansion, I would like to see them go ahead and expand to both Vegas and Seattle, and then you restructure conferences so that way we have an even 16 teams across both conferences. Or you
mm,
utilize this as an opportunity to restructure playoff standings because we've talked
yeah.
about at length exploring the idea of maybe just doing a 1 through 16 regardless of conference standing.
Conference standings,
So
yeah.
that way you get the best out of the playoff matchups. So for some of those reasons, I would be interested in
Hmm.
seeing an expansion. I would love to see Seattle franchise return to Seattle. I think they are a basketball city
That'd be super
starving
nice.
for a team. Yep. And obviously, we all know with the kind of revenue driving allure and attraction that Vegas carries.
Of course,
So, two great cities, though. Two great
yeah.
cities.
And I was thinking with Vegas, now that would be what the four professional team that they will have in Vegas, because you have what the
Raiders,
Aces, Raiders,
Aces, yep. A hockey
the
team.
Oakland A's. Also, they do got a hockey team, and then the Oakland A's are
Yeah.
just now. I think this would be their first year in Vegas.
And I think the Knights
Um,
won, I think they won a cup within the last
they probably, I think
4 years.
so. You may be right.
They're a
I think
really
you may
good
be right.
team.
And then adding an NBA team, so I think that's a really good thing for Vegas. Shockingly, people don't realize, but a lot of people take their families to Vegas. So that's also a good thing for the city. And,
Okay.
there's a lot that still happens from a sports standpoint, though, in Vegas. Like you got
Outside of the strip.
your, outside of the strip, like you get your summer league that happens in Vegas. You get
Yep.
AB that happens often, the training camp and all that preparation happens in Vegas. You still got Nationals that runs through Vegas. Here in Orlando has always been two of the biggest points of
Yep.
AAU when it comes to national outside of the EYBL circuit now, which is in Atlanta. Overall, I think those are two great cities. Seattle, they've been really, really dying to get back, and there's a lot of guys in the NBA from Seattle. I think maybe
Yeah, quietly, Seattle has become a NBA
like
factory.
I know Paulo, Dejounte Murray. I'm
Yep.
not sure
Yep.
if Jaden McDaniels is from Seattle too.
I
He
think
may
he's from that
be
area too.
like
And
Seattle.
those are
I,
just
I
the
think he may
household
be.
name guys.
Mhm. So there's quite a few, but overall, I think it's good for the league. You and I, we've talked lengths on players who just have not been able to get a certain opportunity because of the
Mm.
caliber of teams they walk into. Like you have players like Rob Dillingham who had to walk into a team with Minnesota Timberwolves. Reed Shepard walked into a team with Houston Rockets where they already have a capable, more than capable leading point guard in Fred VanVleet before he got hurt. Dylan Harper, who goes into a Spurs team that he's
Yep.
behind an all-star in De'Aaron Fox, where these guys that could play, and I'm not saying it's wrong that they're learning and playing within the system, but you don't get to have sometimes maybe those same mistakes opportunities just because again, I think the talent is so spread across the league that it
Yep.
is hard to probably sometimes find guys minutes, especially if you're on a contending team. That was my concern with Rob. And we've kind of seen some of those things come to fruition where he was just never really able to crack a spot. And that's not to blame the Minnesota Timberwolves organization because it is a lot of
Or
his play
Rob.
style. Yeah, or Rob. Sometimes it's the nature, and young guys need opportunity to be able to fail early. Now, I think to be able for those guys to have that kind of that loose rope, you got to be on the team where you have the green light, where you have the ball, where you can
Hmm.
make mistakes. Like with Cooper Flag, he's able to make mistakes in Dallas. He's able to. So I think it's
Concavable,
great for
yeah.
I think it's great for the league. Con Knuckle, he's another guy who
Yep.
no
In
one.
real
I'll
time.
be honest with you. I don't know who expected him to do what he's doing now.
I certainly
Has it
didn't.
benefited him? Yeah. But I
Yeah.
don't think everyone was like, "Oh yeah, Con Knuckle was going to go there and instantly make an impact." But I think it does help give guys an opportunity to go and really just stretch their talent. Because
Hmm.
I know there's guys in the G League too that's just not getting probably an opportunity because of the roster construction of everyone else's roster now.
It's an excellent point.
And people may not think that having an extra 14, 12 men on, 22 players into the league or whatever you want to cut it, 25, 30. People think that doesn't help. And I'm like, man, that's a lot of extra players that get an opportunity to play some basketball. Um, Now, T Mac, he said something
Hmm.
interesting. You and I, we talked slightly about it, but he said he doesn't feel like there's enough talent in order for the NBA to be expanding at the moment. Do you agree or disagree with that statement?
I thought that statement was the antithesis of what is the current issue with the NBA, which is, in my opinion, there's a saturation of talent, right? I think
Right.
there has been an increased turnover in talent and in roster opportunity, especially since the transition that the NCAA has made into NIL and the transfer portal, loosening some of the rules around draft eligibility and the allowance to go through an entire draft process and still return, like all of these amendments to the previous regulations, I think
Yeah.
has given the NBA a wealth and an abundance of talent. It speaks to what
Mhm.
we were just talking about. The Rob Dillingham situation is a great example of that, right?
Yeah.
He came in alongside guys like Reed Shepard and
Mhm.
other guards who could have had the opportunity to make an immediate impact from a 15 to 22-minute standpoint on
Mhm.
a team that is somewhere between maybe the 10th and 15 seed in their conference. But they both went to playoff and championship contending rosters where now they take a back
Immediately.
seat and they've had to try to navigate where they can fit in and how they can be useful. You add two additional teams to the league, that's 30 spots. Each Shepard on a roster full of expansion draft guys might fall
Yeah.
somewhere in your either top five or at 6 or 7. And so now those minutes go from 13 to 15 a game to 25 to 28. And now we get to see a completely different side of him.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a little baseless coming from Team Mac. I think sometimes, and I'm not going to digress too much, but I do
Mhm.
believe these are the kind of hot takes or takes that have to happen when we don't have traditional journalists peddling and navigating the
Mhm.
conversation at the end of the day,
Agreed. 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 And that's why
right?
you need that diversity because whether it's guys like us who see the game from a different lens because no, we haven't played in the NBA. And it's the same thing with coaches and players who become coaches that may not
Yep,
have been star players, but become excellent coaches because they saw the game, because they got to sit and watch and observe and see different things that when you're a star player, you digest the game completely differently. You're too
totally agree.
indulged in the process to really understand sometimes the nuances of the game, and you only know it in one way, and it's when it's going the way you need it to go because you have
Yep.
that control because you're playing. But I do like to your point about what T Mac said. I feel like it was kind of lazy because for you to
Mm,
cover the game, for you to be on. Amazon and NBC to say that you don't feel like there's enough talent. And to also, that's not promoting the talent that you have in the NBA. We already have
That's a
an
really
issue
good
with this
point too.
discourse. We already got this issue with the discourse that, we don't have the talent.
International players are taking over, and USA basketball is dying. That's a great point, Lo. I didn't even
It's
think about it
to
from that
me, I'm
angle.
like, it was so distasteful because I'm like, I get it, you podding, and from a podcast standpoint, I get it, but I don't think someone of his stature and Vince Carter,
Yep.
I don't feel like you all have to do these things. That's my only frustration sometimes with some of the NBA guys that do podcasts is we're coming to look and listen to you. You don't
Period.
need a hot take. You don't need hot takes. We are going to trust and believe in a lot of the things that you all say because you've done it. We are looking for the information, the knowledge, the resource that you all have available at your hands and feet. But I do think it was a lazy statement because, as you and I were just able to articulate, the talent that is already in the league, and then now what's going to happen when you have a loaded draft class
Exactly.
and
Exactly, Lo.
you have a loaded draft
Exactly,
class.
bro. Exactly. Now, what percentage of these guys are about to go to bad teams to get drowned out, to not be able to? How many of these guys are going to go to bad situations? You're right.
And a team that's their intention is going to be to lose. And the nasty part about, and I think it's a little bit different than like when LeBron came in or Kobe their time, because now there's so much emphasis. I'm not saying there wasn't the same emphasis on winning before, but teams are willing to go at length to lose.
Yes.
So if I bring in AJ DeBansta at number one, our goal may be to lose to get number one or number 2, 3 pick next year. So his development is just going to be just give him the ball, get out the way. But how much are you still
It's
going to
not
put him
learning.
back? He's not
Right.
learning. Are you going to have
Right.
I feel like the Spurs, what they did with Victor, they had a plan with Victor. It was, hey,
Yes.
we may not be the best, but we're getting ready to add pieces right away because we need you to learn and get some experience from guys and vets that matter. Because if not, we expect to get here close with you. That's why we drafted you at what we draft you at. We expect to
Mhm.
get to that playoff here soon. So we got to get guys in. But nonetheless, man, I thought that statement was distasteful. I don't think T Mac meant like harm by it. I think that was his actual
Yeah. Yeah.
his take. But I'm like, I would challenge T Mac as a legend we know him as to like, man, like take a look at the lead that you are covering with your eyes up close, way more than you and I are looking at the game. Because the talent is there and the talent is about to come in even more in 2026 if you're
That's the
watching
one thing
college
I feel like the
basketball
NBA
right now.
isn't lacking is talent.
No. No. Like, man, and when you mentioned the words drown out, how many of the guys who were just drafted 2 years ago with these new guys come in are about to get G League?
Washed away.
G League.
I mean, even I think about even John and Zion. I think both of those guys are victims of
On the
what
verge.
we were discussing, what we have been discussing, which is going to bad teams who had no structure around their development. And so they ended up in perennial lottery positions where they had to keep essentially tanking so they could eventually add more, roster capital to their roster. But now look at both of them. I mean, Zion is starting to look a little bit better. I'm proud of the ownership and that he's taken over his body.
Yeah.
And so this season, yes, he's performed a little bit well. He's been able to play more games than he's had in the previous seasons. But I mean, we were on the verge of thinking that this guy was either needing to be moved or we needed to change the tone of the conversation. I think a large part of it is what, again, we had been talking about.
And part of it, I think, too, you add vets. Kay Cunningham, perfect example, prime example, and Victor. You
Yep.
added vets to those
Yep.
guys' rosters, and look how they have flourished. I think Ja got to experience some of that too. You added some vets and still have some good young pieces. I looked at Dylan Brooks as a veteran at that time when he was there. Luke Kennard was a vet when he was there.
So I moved all of them and they moved the head coach.
Come on, who else was there? Caldwell, KCP was in, I think,
KCP
Memphis.
was there for a minute.
for a
He
little
had great
man.
vets around him initially.
And I'm like, why are we pushing out vets? I don't know why Austin Rivers couldn't be on the team right now. I don't know why DeMarcus Cousins couldn't be on the team right now. And I get it. Maybe some things that we just don't know from an attitude standpoint, how they feel like some of those guys were in the locker room. But maybe we give a little bit of grace. And I just know from a personal standpoint how I would love to utilize, because a lot of these guys, they just want to come be veterans in the locker room. Isaiah
That's
Thomas.
it.
I think
They want to be an
that's a
extension of the
perfect
coaching
spot.
staff.
That's important, man. Like, cause are you really using that 15 guy in your spot?
No,
That's young. And you just want to say, oh, I need to go young. You're not playing
and
this
y'all,
guy.
come on, bro.
You're
and
not
unless
playing him.
5 dudes get hurt, you're not playing 2-way guys. So yeah,
And even if that is a call up, that's easy. You can still have the veteran on your team and have some vets on your team, and then still have these guys. But to that point, I think you need more vets. Like, people are trying to go this thunder route. I'm like, everyone just can't have young teams and think it's going to work. Spurs and OKC are anomalies. Those are top ran organizations. So
correct.
I'm not saying Washington Wizards aren't that, but you haven't showed that just yet. You don't have to take that same
You
route.
don't have that cachet. Yeah.
The Atlanta Hawks. I think Atlanta Hawks is taking a different approach where how they're getting young, but also they're getting very, very athletic players. You add in Nikhil Alexander-Walker, who's had some experience in this league now. You have a Clint Capella. They're probably going to keep him on that roster and other guys.
Mm-hmm.
But I think as well, man, you just have to have good vets. You need a balanced roster, and it just can't be, oh, we're going to get the first pick this year. Oh, sweet. Let's lose again so we can get it again this year. That is so nasty. Get the number one pick. Get the number one pick. Find ways to get other guys to come there, because that should be the attraction point, is the pick that you got, the player. Like, I would hope, I feel like all the top 5 players in this that could go in this year's draft, I think all of them are potential franchise players. Would you agree?
Yeah. And however the order shakes up. Because I would I think there's probably 7 guys that you can argue could go top 5.
Yeah.
And I think all 7 of them could be franchise changers.
So who would you say, again, it don't got to be no order, but who would you think are, right now, from what you've seen with college, who could be franchise players coming into their organizations?
I think the 3 immediate, I would even extend it to 4. The 4 immediate guys who I think can be 1A franchise changers are Darren, AJ, Cam, and Darius Acuff. Differently in terms of how they can impact, but I think all of them can be 1A impact guys.
Okay.
And I think your 1B impact guys are guys like Kingston Flemings, Caleb Wilson.
Agreed.
And then I would extend, maybe, like, I would put an X with a parentheses around it for that last spot, because I think depending on where this guy falls, depending on what kind of veteran leadership they have, depending on the direction of the organization, you might also want to include someone like Michael Brown. You might consider Keaton Wagler. I haven't seen a lot of him play. I mean, I know he's a long, versatile wing that stretches the floor. Those are always attractive. Maybe not so much Koa, just because of how complimentary his role has been so far at Arizona. I'm not saying he can't develop into that. I'm saying at the moment he hasn't had the ball in his hands enough to be able to evaluate him from that role. Those first 5, though.
I agree with everyone you just said.
That's where it's at, bro. That's and the party really at Darius' house. The party at Darius' house. And the after party at AJ crib.
Yeah.
Everybody else I might pull up, but in my opinion, the party is at Darius' house and the after party at AJ crib.
Now, if Brooklyn gets, I'll give you a few scenarios. If you're Brooklyn, who do you get 1 or 2, Darius or AJ?
I think you still go with AJ.
Okay, Sacramento, do you go Darius or AJ?
That's tough.
Okay.
And that's tough. That's tough. And I'm not saying it's tough because of the player. I'm saying it's tough because I want to protect them.
Yeah,
And I damn near don't want to send anybody else to Sacramento. Honestly, bro,
correct, bro.
forget expanding. I low-key just want them to move Sacramento's franchise to Seattle or to Vegas.
He said, just move them. I feel that way about Memphis. Like, let's just move Memphis to a different-
Respectfully. I just think the
Let's
energy
just
in some of
move
these
some of these
cities.
teams.
Yeah, bro. I like, and I'm not trying to crap on Memphis. I know the city is already taking enough heat, but
I would feel the same way if Indiana, because again, I'm from Indianapolis. You all know Chris is from Cleveland. I would feel the same way by Indy if Indy wasn't solely damn near just about basketball. Indy is a basketball state.
come on,
like,
man.
There's
That's
not many
one of the
people you
Meccas,
won't
though.
find. But like, that's one of those places where, and Indy still hosts a lot of things. Indy is a very central location. So I'm not sitting here, and Chris is neither, to just bash on Memphis and say, oh, Memphis is just this terrible place. It just hasn't been one of those cities that is going to be popularized around a sport. Like,
Yeah.
it's just not. It's just not one of those cities, and that is okay. It is
That's
okay.
it.
Now, it sucks if
It
you
is
have to
what it
move. Like,
is.
I'm like, man, maybe you take something back to St. I thought St. Louis was actually a really good spot for sports. I was kind of sick how they took the Rams and went the. But I'm like, even St. Louis, I think that would be nice to
Not a
see.
bad idea.
If you wanted to go
Nashville.
back to like
There's
a
a
smaller
few
place
other-
or Nashville. So I'm like,
But
I don't know. But yeah, I get what you're saying about the Sacramento piece. That's tough.
it just feels like you send guys there, you forget about them. They live in some abyss that, you know, we barely remember. I mean, look at Domantas Sabonis. We're talking about a guy who was at a time a perennial All-Star and on occasion an All NBA guy, and nothing.
It was nothing. Same with Tyrese. Same with
Tyrese.
DeMarcus Cousins. Who else is?
I mean, I think De'Aaron probably had the best stretch of, you know, his stint or a career stint in Sacramento.
And that didn't
but
last.
Even
That
he
was
was
very-
down to get out of there.
That was short lived. Like, the hype around them was that they took Golden State to Game 7. It wasn't even that they won.
And then you fired Mike Brown the season after because he was holding guys accountable. All right.
And
Hey, man.
that's what makes me concerned. That's what makes me concerned about
Hey,
certain
man.
guys. And I can understand why maybe a Darren Peterson is like, you know what? If they really look at me as the number one pick and y'all think Sacramento
I'm
about to
good.
get this,
My groin
I'll
hurt.
take my draft stock. My groin
My
hurt.
groin
My
hurt.
left foot
yeah,
hurt.
bro. I'm
Y'all
hurt.
not sending me there. But I think AJ is
Maybe-
number one consensus, though.
I
would
think
say
AJ's number one. I think AJ's number one. I think earlier in the season it was looking like Darren, but you know, the injury concerns. Yeah, AJ. I like AJ. I feel comfortable with him as a number one pick.
Yeah. And I think I
Cam
have
might be okay in Sacramento.
Cam. Yeah, Cam almost to me is cut from that same cloth like a Sabonis, where he can go just about anywhere and
Yeah.
he'll play efficiently. But I'll say this: Cam and Caleb Wilson, those guys are going to have to develop a jump shot.
Yes.
They are just so much more gifted than these other guys in college right now. It's every highlight is a dunk. Like Caleb Wilson, I looked up yesterday. Me and my guy Thorne was talking. Caleb Wilson has taken 27 threes all year, made 7, which again is like it's not his job to shoot a bunch of threes. Like for me, more so, I wanted to see his form. When I tell you, bro, I could not find a highlight of him shooting the ball because he was just bully. Catching the paint, turn, dunk, drive, Giannis style, dunk. Like they're just way too strong, way too gifted, just way more than what these guys are right now in the collegiate level. Like, because they're NBA ready. Let's keep it a buck. But they're going to have to stretch their game out to that higher mid-range 3-point line past that free throw, or it is going to be they'll struggle early. Like at least with Cooper.
I agree with that.
Cooper was very willing to take the 3 steal. Like he's hesitant to me sometimes in general. Like he just wants to play basketball the right way, but he's not afraid where like he takes a shot where he looks very confident taking a 3 steal. He's just hesitant because he just wants to make the right play. That's what I think is going to be my maybe my concerns about Cam and Caleb,
Mm.
but I don't think they're bad concerns. Just you can't have everything coming into the league. Not everyone does. So that's their opportunity. And I hope, again, the right organization can help them develop into the players that they need to become for their franchise because you're not drafting nobody in the top five. Hopefully not to not be a franchise guy one day.
And luckily, a jump shot is one of the easier things to fix nowadays from a skill standpoint. I mean, they have so many
Yeah,
coaches
more often
who
now.
have
More often now.
expertise, yeah, and how you can develop a better jump shot. But I agree with you, especially
Yeah.
Caleb Wilson.
Yeah.
Because at least Cam Boozer does so many other things well that you'll
Yeah.
have to put him on the floor. He's going to rebound the
Yeah.
ball. He's going to guard
Regardless.
3 positions. He's going to share the ball really well. He's going to do some of those little things within the action. But Caleb Wilson, yeah, I absolutely agree. If what made Cooper's transition so much easier was that mid-range game because he knew even if
Yeah.
he ran him off the line, if he can't get to the bucket,
Pull
he
up.
can score in the mid-range. That's what it's there for.
And I said
So I agree, bro.
they got to get something. They got to get something as far as that jump shot package because you don't want to see. And hopefully they're watching guys like Giannis and seeing the
Yep.
toll that it takes to play that type of style of basketball. And it's very demanding. I commend Giannis for being able to do it, but now I think he's having the aftermath of those effects
Yes.
of playing this style of basketball where
Right,
he's
it's starting to
banged
break
up now.
down.
And I'm like, it's looking like some smart decisions to where teams were like, Giannis probably has more worse years ahead than what he has
Yeah.
better years because of his play style.
Yeah, Giannis is
And
a great
I hope
player.
he gets healthy. Yeah. So next topic, man. Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum said he is no longer sitting on the sideline. He's back, and I like the way he's came back. It's been quiet. It hasn't
Yep.
been a bunch of noise. It's been a seamless transition, and I this is good for Boston because
Yeah.
Jason Tatum had a
Yeah.
crazy summer with the Olympics and feeling disrespected, being hurt. So it's good. It's good to see Tatum back. I'm not a Boston fan, but it's really, really good to see Tatum back. What do you think so far on him returning? Is it good? Are you glad he's back? Do you think he's going to regret this decision? What's your thoughts so far?
Well, he's been making me eat my words a little bit because I remember when it announced that he was going to return, I immediately texted you and said, "This is a bad idea." And my reservation was that it felt unnecessary. Boston was still second in the East. They were a top 5 team in the NBA rankings. JB was having an MVP caliber season. Some of the other ancillary pieces had been performing well. I did not understand the reason why he felt so compelled to come back. It is evident, though, that he was physically capable and ready to come back because he looks good. Like physically, he looks good. He looks like not 100%, obviously, but it looks serviceable enough where I don't feel like he's at risk of re-injuring that leg again. Like his body looks strong.
Yeah, he looks good. He looks good.
Yeah, he looks durable. My concern, though, and I thought this was potentially foreshadowing. I did not watch his documentary, but one of the clips that went viral was when he was talking to the doctor, and he said, "Doc, I ain't coming back to be a role player. I ain't gonna hold you." Not that I ever think that he's going to end up just being a role player. I don't know if we'll ever get MVP Jason back, though.
Yeah.
Like, I
think
don't
so.
know. I hope so. I don't know if he gets that wiggle back.
I would say I can understand that part of it because of how he plays too. He does a lot of step backs, and it's usually not as just straight line drives
A
or
lot of
'cause he-
isolation.
a lot of isolation, and yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Unfortunately, you have a really, really good team next to you. You have guys who play their role, and
Yep.
that's why I'm also, bro, not surprised at what Jaylen Brown has done this year. Like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, Jaylen Brown's this. I'm like, why are y'all shocked? It's y'all fault for making yourself believe that Jaylen Brown wasn't the number 1 player. You and I have already said Jaylen Brown is Boston has two number
Agreed.
ones on their team. You have two number
They
ones.
do.
I'm not shocked at what he's doing. I've expected this. I think Jaylen Brown is the other person that has shocked himself because he talks about it so much. And I feel like it's a pity party at this point. Like, bro, you all let the media try to pin people against you. Everyone who really talks hoop knows both of y'all are number one. We know.
Yeah, they do got two number ones.
Why do you think everyone is trying to break you all up? It's because people know that you all both are number one players.
Yeah.
The Needles just happen to get pushed. Yeah, the Needles just happen to get pushed for Jason Tatum in Boston for said reasons. But that's the way the ball fell. But do you think also with Tatum coming back, does this hurt Jaylen Brown's chances of winning the MVP?
If Jason Tatum keeps performing at a high level, I think naturally it will.
Because of his stats.
At the end of the day. And the way that we evaluate impact when we are talking about the MVP is very nuanced, right? We move the needle and move the finish line ever so slightly based on who we're talking about and the circumstance. So, obviously when it was just him, there was greater justification to see him as an MVP. Now you got Jason back. I think the focus will go back to Cade once he's back healthy.
Hopefully he comes back soon.
He comes back, yeah. And if not, by default, it'll probably land on Shai again.
And Shai hit 3 game winners in a row, and I think people just kind of swept that under the bus. He hit 3 game winners straight, and it wasn't just
that's sick.
3 game winners. It was multiple clutch buckets in all 3 of those games, and they were all versus contenders. Every last one.
The way he did Draymond,
it was Golden State,
Jordan-esque.
Knicks, and then Denver. Denver may have been Denver twice.
I think that's right.
Because he had that
Denver was definitely in there.
Denver was in there, and I'm like, Shai, he just came back and said, all right, hold on.
Man said, I don't need a screen.
Don't need a screen. Yeah, I forgot I'm MVP.
I got it.
Just been chilling.
Excuse me.
Don't worry about it. Shai has been without his number 2 all year. Some people are like trying to push Shai out.
That.
I forgot. They started that record without Jalen Williams.
Yep.
They started
and Isaiah Hartenstein.
And without Isaiah. So people want to say, oh, Shai has his team. Yeah, he's been without his main guys for most of the season. But also, you're not going to give credit to Shai going there and helping that team be what they are. Do you think his leadership, the way he carries himself, is not a huge part of why OKC is what it is?
Exactly. Exactly. You have to consider that.
Let's not do that, because I see people trying to swap. I saw someone comment and said, if you put Luka and Thunder, you get the same result. And I'm
no, you don't. Not even fucking close.
That is not. You can't.
You absolutely do not get the same result.
You don't get the same result, man. It's so much other stuff that happens outside of the court that helps the team become who they are, especially a championship team. And I'm not saying Luka can't do that, but I don't think it's just an easy plug and play where, because of what Luka can do from an offensive standpoint, where you just put him on any other team that's good and say, oh, they won a championship. That's not the case.
That's not how that works. That's not
the case with everyone. Now, if you're just saying you just add Luka with what the team they got now with Shai, yeah.
I mean,
that's KD to the Warriors, but we're not talking about that. You're talking about a swap, not the same.
Yeah, no, that's silly. Y'all sound silly. Whoever's saying that, you sound silly.
Not the same situation. Do you think there's a chance JB can still win it, or this is more so Shai's race to lose? Like JB got to drop 60 at the very end of the season for about 3 games for them to say, you know what? Let me get my recency bias now because I just saw what Jaylen Brown just did these last few games.
Probably, bro. It probably is Shai's to lose at this point. Because the only thing I can imagine JB could do, he would have to maybe like average a double-double, and Boston would have to surge to a game and a half behind OKC or something sick like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or win like some really good games. I'm trying to see their schedule now to see who do they play the rest of this year. Because that may that sometimes helps the players. Like if he has another head to head with Thunder, maybe.
Yeah,
And if it's close
maybe
into the
you
season, maybe that
outperform
helps.
Shea.
Which that's not usually likely because Shea gets his. As I said, it's gonna be hard to go against Shea because Shea's just so consistent. Like he's just
He
not
said it. He
dude's
said my
consistent. He's
life is
not.
consistent, Mister Consistent.
Yeah, they don't. Boston doesn't have anybody that's. You got Minnesota. Okay, so you got Minnesota,
That'd be a
which
good matchup.
is you got Minnesota tomorrow. You got OKC next Wednesday, but outside of that, you got
Okay,
Atlanta twice, Charlotte, Miami, Milwaukee, Toronto, Charlotte, New York at the end of the season, April 9th, which
that'll be a good game.
some guys could be sitting by that time, you're in for playoffs. And then you finish with New Orleans and Orlando.
Mm.
So even if you do kill against OKC, that's about to be next week. And then if Shea does anything else between that time frame, we forgot
It's
about you.
dissolved.
We forgot about you. It's over. Oh, damn. Yeah.
It's gonna
Shea
be
getting
tough
that
for him.
award. Shea getting that award.
It's gonna be tough for him. And presuming that Jason Tatum is only going to continue to get more comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. Which he will. But overall, from a team standpoint, it's perfect for them both.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
perfect. Add
It definitely
hardware.
increased their yeah, I was about to say it definitely increased their championship contention for this season. Bringing him
Add
back.
hardware. I think now is the time for them to chase. Right now, for me, if I'm them, I'm chasing the championships because you are going to have y'all not even 30 yet. You're not even in your prime yet.
So
So
crazy.
you'll have plenty of time to go chase even more of those individual accolades. You're still going to get them now. Like Jalen Brown's probably going to be first team, if not second, all NBA
For
this year.
sure. For sure.
Y'all
He'll
like getting
probably
it.
and he could
You're
win
getting
Eastern
them.
Conference Player of the Year. You could win Finals MVP if you all make it. Like I think those awards are still going to be. I mean, he's a previous. I mean, he
And
won
you
Finals
already got
MVP last
one.
time,
You already
right?
got
So to
one.
your point, yeah, yeah.
And just because that's what I said, I don't like him complaining about MVP and then not being a criteria or whatever he doesn't fit. I'm like, man, you got to be careful of that, JB, because now I feel like you are chasing, and I get it, the competitiveness. You want to be an MVP, you want to be a champ, like you want to be all of those things. Um, but I don't think that team, that roster is set up for that. And then unfortunately for him, that Western Conference is way tougher. And the guy who's leading that Western
Yeah.
Conference also just won a championship and also is leading his team to a crazy record. And it's like it's not even close to the rest of y'all. Like if you put Thunder in the Eastern Conference, they're probably winning 70 games, 80 games at that
Probably,
point.
probably
Because they got to play. Because I forgot what their record was against the East, but like they haven't lost much against Eastern Conference teams.
I mean, imagine them having to play like Brooklyn like 4 times,
Bro.
Indiana 4 times at their current state. Like, yeah, come on, man. Be a 70-win team for sure.
I think 3 of the top or the bottom 5 teams is all on the Eastern Conference. What? Wizards, Pacers, Brooklyn. And well, the other night they played Brooklyn. Brooklyn had
Yeah.
24 points at halftime.
Come on, bro. What the fuck are we?
24
talking
points at halftime?
That's
and I think
underwhelming
Brooklyn
for D2.
Yeah, bro. 24 points at half.
Like, what are we talking about?
At halftime as an NBA team, that is.
This is what
so
T-Mac was
nasty.
saying. There ain't enough talent. He was talking about Brooklyn's ass.
He probably seen that game, and so T-Mac, if that was the game you watched that made you say that, I get it, brother. Like
I hear
that
you.
probably pissed you. That probably pissed
Between
you.
that and Bam's 83 and the way that Washington was defending him, I could understand. I could understand. But
that issue is because like this, my teams are trying to lose. You're not trying to win. You're
Yeah.
not doing things to. You're not adding a roster because you can build a roster that can win. I think every single team has the ability to do so. And I feel like some teams just try to not win. Like, why is Michael Porter not playing in Brooklyn?
it's not like you can move him right now.
Why is he not playing? Why you got guys in Utah not playing? Come on, what are we doing?
They can fix that shit.
I'm like, all right, y'all gonna keep doing it, but I know we speaking about the Western Conference, and It seems to be a dark horse, and it's kind of
Mm.
crazy to call them a dark horse because they're not. I believe right now they're third in the West. But the Lakers, man, Lakers look like they
Mm.
have rejuvenated themselves
Couldn't figure
with
some things out.
LeBron being the third option. And you said it earlier. You had said LeBron is going to have to one get off the ball, but also figure out how he can play effective off the ball, which you said he would. But they would have to figure it out to where you're not making him just a corner shooter. Like LeBron is going to get in transition. Like everything that you said, bro. Like you mentioned it to a T early on in our show and said that LeBron can't be the focal point. What's your thoughts on this look on how JJ has kind of turned this team and he's pivoting to making the focus Luca and Austin now? What's your thoughts?
Well, I'm proud of them for making a decision, right? And I want Lakers need to hire me because it's evident that I'm locked in, bro. Come on. No, but
Lakers make the
real
call,
talk
Rob.
though. Seriously, like, come on, man. I don't even need a whole lot. But seriously though, it made the most sense, right?
Yeah. Mm.
You got Luca and you got Austin Reeves. Both of these guys are under the age of 30.
Mm-hmm.
Luca has been a franchise leading guy before. Austin Reeves is a budding, second guy, and it showed that prior to Luca's, presence and being a part of the
Yeah.
team. But they found a way to develop some chemistry, and I like the two of them. And so now that
They're close.
that chemistry has been developed, yeah, you have to continue to nurture it. The only way that's going to be able to do that is if they kind of force LeBron to take a step back, man,
Have
and
to.
be the veteran that we need you to be for this team. You need to
Yes.
be leading with your voice, not with your body.
Yeah.
You're 40.
Yeah.
So,
We can't afford for it, honestly. And Austin Reeves, this is contract year. So I need to see what my future's gonna look like with Luke and AR. I need to see if this is gonna work, especially in the playoffs. Because that's my only thing is what is AR
especially in
gonna
the
do
playoffs. Yep.
What is AR gonna be?
When you start
Because that's
getting
probably gonna let you know if you pay him.
hunted for matchups, yep. Because that's going to happen. Now, that's going to be the tough evaluation period for the Lakers is going to be the playoffs because now you have to consider what schemes and strategies are you all going to deploy defensively. So your two lead guys are both going to be defensive liabilities.
Mhm.
Brian can only do so much. And to be honest, I don't know if LeBron's ever been an all-world on-ball defender. When he locks in, yes.
Yeah, he's
But
there.
by and large, LeBron has been exceptional at what he's been able to do as a secondary, defender and as defensive help, playing the passing lanes, getting pinned downs, stuff like that. So they have some questions to answer, but I'm happy to see that, asking LeBron to take a step back and him buying into that role has manifested in more wins and what looks like more continuity for that team.
Do you think LeBron returns next year with his Lakers roster?
Why would you? Why would you, Brian? Why put yourself through this humiliation ritual? Because being anything other than the GOAT seems unfit. That's why I hated seeing Mike come back.
Mm-hmm.
What are you proving? Playing one more year does what for your legacy and for the Lakers?
To separate it even further.
I don't understand,
He making
brother.
sure don't nobody catch that.
Retire. I
He
just
trying
seen
to
him
make sure no
doing
one
some.
catch that record.
I just seen him doing some content on YouTube with I forgot the page, but a guy who basically he had people put headphones on and he make them guess a song. LeBron was just doing that on the golf course. I assume this was shot in the middle of the season. Nigga, you want to be retired.
You want to be. Mm-hmm.
I don't get it.
He don't want to go away from that game. No, I think LeBron really truly loves, which most guys of his stature do. They really love the game, but I don't think he wants to leave. I think next year is it though. I think next year is the final year. I don't think he wants to say it. He'll wait. He'll do an announcement. But also, I don't see where it makes sense with the Lakers. Like Lakers, you can't have LeBron on that. What is he making? Probably $52 million. You can't have him on the roster because you're gonna waste. Let me
Another
not say
year.
waste. That's the wrong word. You'll lose a productive year of building a
Correct.
championship team around Luka and AR, 'cause I'm assuming that's who you're gonna roll with, especially if AR plays well in the playoffs. You'll lose production years of seeing what you can do with that team within the next 3 years if you keep LeBron for one more year for his farewell tour. You lose the
Yep.
production. And I don't
Period.
think it's worth it. In the league where it's not easy to win anymore, where every year a new team is winning, that is not easy to where like Minnesota, I feel like I don't know if Minnesota's window was still there anymore. They're too
Mm.
inconsistent, and I'm a huge Minnesota Timberwolves fan. I think they lost their window. Like this year should have been steps forward where you're like, okay, Minnesota, OKC, 1 and 2. And Spurs just said,
Yep.
we passed y'all. Don't worry about
Later.
Minnesota. Y'all go ahead. Y'all go ahead back here. And now and that's to my point. Lakers can't play around. You can't have a year
Mm.
where it's like, maybe we get there, maybe we don't. And then you look back and now Lucas 35, 36, and he
Because it
hasn't
happens that
gotten back.
fast.
And he hasn't gotten back. So like, yeah, it's tough, it's challenging. They got a tough decision to make. But I think LeBron's gonna want to return. But if he can get into Cleveland, which I heard like they have some type of
Oh my
option
God,
where
no.
they talking about
He can
something he
take
can
a
make money from streaming
minimum vet. Oh, bro, what are we
to where he could take a
doing?
minimum. They said he could take a minimum contract and get streaming rights to where he's basically almost making the same amount of money, if not more. Which anyone, Netflix would pay LeBron hundreds of millions to go one season. We get to record and have rights to your final season.
Oh my God, bro.
But I'm like, if he goes to Cleveland on a minimum, or if he gets to stay in LA for a minimum, and LA brings in players in LA, and they may be on to something. What if he takes a minimum and stays in LA, and LA is now able to
It's
add more
probably going to
talent?
happen. That's probably
Mhm.
going to happen, Angelo. That's the reason why I'm
Mhm.
so frustrated. It's because I know you're right. It's probably going to happen. It's not even just
Yeah.
plausible. It's probable. Knowing LeBron, because
Mhm.
honestly, and I think we all know this, the real reason why he doesn't want to retire is he doesn't want to relinquish control.
No.
Because then what is that?
No.
What do you transfer that control to? That's a hard transition to make. You ain't gonna be able to do it at the crib.
And he's not in the shadows like a Kobe and Jordan. Jordan and Kobe was fine with living in the shadows. Brian is very much front. And again, that's his style. I'm not knocking LeBron for his style
Yeah,
because it's
it
made
is what
him
it is.
very successful. And I think he's a
Like
huge
Shaq.
reason why. Yeah, he's huge reason why players are getting paid what they are now, why players have control the way they have now is a
Mm-hmm.
huge part because of LeBron. So a lot of players need to thank him for that piece alone for it being a players league now. But he's too much in the spotlight, and I'm like, yeah, to your point, I don't know if you want to let that go.
Now, what do you do? Made
And
sure.
he just said he didn't want on the team, but I don't believe that. I'm like, I know you. You said you went on the team. What happened? Why the change your heart now?
Okay. Tom
Maybe it
Brady
was
said the
just
same thing
Vegas.
too.
Maybe it was just Vegas. Maybe he was just saying, okay, maybe it's not Vegas. Maybe it's somebody else. So that could have been it. Maybe he just was saying no to Vegas.
But I
But
think you're right, bro.
mm,
I would expect him to
mhm,
do something like that.
yeah,
That's
good for the league if you're able to have the
yeah,
Lakers
yeah,
competing
and
in
good
the
for
playoffs.
content.
Yeah,
And
especially
to
his
your
last
point, they
season.
do decide to do something like that. I mean, you're right. It's going to draw hundreds of millions of viewers worldwide, us
So
included.
many, bro.
So I get it.
So
I
many.
get it, man.
So last season, LeBron, where it's recorded, and he's on a team that can win. Because Jordan wasn't on no contending team when he went out. Kobe wasn't on a contending team when he
No,
went out. So to imagine someone of LeBron's caliber still able to play at a high level and possibly be able to go out with a championship, that's lit.
it's huge.
That's lit, man. So,
It's huge.
couple more things, man. So Joker had did a interview the other day in the post game, and you sent it over to me, and I
Hmm.
thought it was an interesting topic with how we're kind of seeing a lot of our legends get ready to kind of phase out now. But he had mentioned about his love for Denver, that he's found peace in Denver, and he wants to play in Denver for the rest of his career. Do you think we'll have more guys who are wanting to be one team players, especially if their career and what they've done for this franchise has warranted for them to be able to stay, i.e., Steph Curry, i.e., LeBron James could have been in one place if he wanted to the entire time. Dame
Sure.
Lillard, if he wanted to. Devin Booker looks like he's going to be one of those guys who is never going to leave. Do you think we'll have more players that will choose that path? Just kind of seeing the landscape of how the NBA is now. Do you think we'll see that more? Maybe like with Cade, do you think we'll see that more now?
I hope so. I certainly hope so. Because it creates great parity amongst the NBA. You know, the more that we have 1A superstars representing all of the franchises across the NBA, the better it's going to be for the basketball that we watch, especially when you start getting the playoffs, which is why it may be worth considering dissolving the Eastern Western Conference format and just allowing it to be a 1-16. Because now, we get an opportunity to potentially even explore matchups we would never get an opportunity to see in the first and second rounds. And so that coupled with just allowing fans to attach themselves to those franchises because one guy has been there for so long, the institutional knowledge. You and I are both worked in corporate spaces, and that's a word that you know is often thrown around in those corporate spaces, and we've seen it in real time where someone has been in an environment for 20, 25 years, they retire or they move, and all of that institutional knowledge that they had leaves with them. The same thing happens in basketball. Right? The reason why the Nuggets are so good, the reason why Oklahoma City is going to continue to become dynastic, the reason why the Warriors were dynastic, the reason why the Spurs were dynastic is because those are franchises who had guys who had institutional knowledge who stayed there and they passed it down from generation to player to generation to player. Right? And I think ideally that's what you want.
Agreed.
If the NBA is smart, they would do everything they can, especially within these CBAs, to encourage guys to want to stay in one spot. Like that's what we
That's why
want,
them maxes, boy, them super maxes to guys that are staying in
are
those
so
teams.
important.
And even to the seeding point, having if you were to go to, you know, hey, only the top 16 teams are going to be seeded regardless of conference. I also think that would help players carefully decide where they want to go. Now, all the players may not want to go to a Western Conference team. So now you may see a guy who's a superstar
There you go.
that goes to a smaller market because my chances of getting to the playoff just increase because I don't got to battle with these guys as much. And I think that is
right.
It could be leverage. If
It
you're
is
one of the
leverage.
16 team, it's leverage. And now if I'm a small
LeBron showed
market,
us that.
Eastern Conference, come on, Indiana. Come on over here
Absolutely.
to Memphis. Come on over here to Chicago. Like, because you get to play some other bad teams 4 times a year where you're going to let them fight. Like, bro, that Western Conference, even the standings right now, like, I think seeds 3 through 7 are all the same record.
Basically, yes.
Like, they are
that's how
changing
good
from
it
3
is
to
over
7
there.
every
Yes.
single day. Every single day they're changing. It's competitive. Like Anthony Edwards right now, that's why I said it. The Minnesota Timberwolves needed to capitalize and go forward from where they went last year. And to me, I feel like they just took a step back. You all are supposed to be number 2 in the West right now. It should have been you all in OKC.
Like San Antonio should be still figuring it out. And they look like, no, we got it figured out. We're going to go try to go get this junk now.
Their team is more bought in. Like Timberwolves, their team isn't bought in. You got Rudy making the statements he makes. And I feel like Rudy, man, his game is like it's getting worse. Like you can see the decline.
Yeah.
He can't catch a ball. And they play decent with Ant being out a little bit, but like they're also not playing crazy talent. They got a good one versus Phoenix the other night. But the continuity isn't there. I think there's still some holes in Ant's game that people aren't talking about. And again, I love Ant too, but there are some holes in his game where he doesn't have the trust of his team. And you can see it. It's visible. He doesn't have it.
Yeah, I saw him. I saw the comment he made a few weeks ago. Something along the lines. I can't remember who they were playing, but he took maybe the last 20 or some odd field goal attempts in an effort to try to win. Late in the game, and they asked him in post conference kind of about that, and he said, matter of fact, it's when him and Finchie got into it, and he said that he was going to take every shot, and that was the best decision for the team. And I was like, nigga, you are wild for saying that out loud. Like, I hear you. I respect the confidence.
Correct.
But to say that aloud, standing next to other guys like Jaden McDaniel and Julius Randle, who too feel like they could be 20-plus point guys a night and could also close games, that's not how you lead.
And I don't think he hasn't figured that part of the leadership out yet. And I'm going to wait to see how the playoffs play out with him. But I'm like, man, if I was in regular season, I'm like, okay, I know he's getting better, and he's wanted to put himself in the MVP race, and he's having another phenomenal year. But you're having another phenomenal year. You got your All-Star, you won All-Star MVP, but still, you're not up for MVP, and your team hasn't gotten better. So at what cost did it come for you to get your individual accolades, and now your team isn't where it needs to be? And you don't have the roster construction that's going to allow you at the moment, but even grateful, or fortunately, they have a great front office that will figure it out and get the right players around them. But you have, if I was him, I would be focusing on how do I help get these guys prepared from a continuity standpoint that we're all gelling once we get to the playoff. Like, I need Julius Randle to be at a peak. I need him confident. Yeah. If Julius isn't confident, we are not going to go far. If he's not confident, we're not going to go far. If Rudy isn't confident in what we need him to do, if he's complaining and he's lackluster and he's not getting back on defense, and that's what we need him to do because he's upset at me, that is going to be problematic. Like, it's all this little stuff. Like, Jaden McDaniels is going to be consistent every single time. Like, Jaden is never going to move. You never got to worry about Jaden. But if I'm Ant, how do I get DiVincenzo? How do I get him his mojo back? How do I get Ayo, who just got over here? How do I get him going, like the young guy? And right now, it still seems like Ant is focused on, which I'm not telling him to not be a scorer, because like no one asked Jordan to pass, no one asked Kobe to pass. So I'm not saying I gotta ask. And people are like, oh, well, he needs to do this. Stop trying to put everybody in the same mode as
and he'll grow into
LeBron or Luka. And he'll grow into it. And I think this playoff is going to be another teacher and learn for him. But you also never know. Some teams hit the playoff and they hit a different stride.
I do think too, though, we are entering a new era where the EQ is going to matter more than the IQ. Right? Like, I really do think the teams and the leaders who will end up having the most success will be because of the emotional quotient, not just because of the basketball IQ. And I think that's one of the things that Ant still lacks, bro. And
it's okay. He's young.
Yeah, but I also think about it like in the context of who some of these guys' favorite players are. Like, he's a big KD guy. I mean, we love KD, but from a leadership standpoint, what has he shown us?
Yeah, sometimes it can be too standoffish. It can be too standoffish.
And KD could be a bit of a narcissist in some ways sometimes. Straight up. Whereas I look at a guy like Shea, his favorite players are Kobe and Jordan, and we wonder why he takes that kind of approach and tone in the way that he leads. Like, I would be interested to know who Cade's guys were, who he looked up to, because I love the way Cade leads. At the end of the day, man, like you said, I think the window is passed at the moment.
For the team.
Ain't a whole lot of more basketball Ant needs to adjust. It's the maturity has to grow.
It's the maturity, because then that's going to spill over into how you play the game, how you approach it, how you lead, how do you get your guys going, because I'm like, unfortunately, you're in a situation very similar to what Jordan was in. You have to figure out how to lead with your play style. because it's not going to be through passing all the time. You're not a person who's going to get 10 to 12 to 13 assists, but do you play aggressively to the basket that may get you fouls? You know when you need a quick bucket, how to get that quick. You know how to get 6 point, 7 point stretch where like, hey, I know where to kick it in this gear and we're gonna get to these spots, do this, do that. Like I want to see him start to pick the game apart where I'm like, he's making it look so easy for the team, not just for himself, but like I know that okay, Minnesota's great kicking to this gear because of Ant. And being aggressive doesn't mean you take every shot. Being aggressive may be, you know, okay, I can get to this drive and kick. I'm gonna set this play up to get this pin down here, and then I'm
the next action.
And then I'm gonna get this over to Devo in the corner because I know he's gonna flare behind Rudy on his down screen. Like that's the stuff I want to see and get to and be comfortable with saying, you know what, I'm gonna live with this pass because either one, I'm going for this rebound if he does miss, and I'm gonna get an easy bucket, or like I want to make sure this helps build confidence for the next series, the next go. Like, hey, keep shooting. Because if Minnesota makes consistently defense their identity, they are a very hard team to beat.
That I couldn't agree more, bro.
They are a very hard team to beat.
Because what year was that? Was that 23 where they went a stretch of in the playoffs in the first and second round?
I think so.
Where they just looked like impeccable.
No one can get past them. Yeah.
What happened to that?
It's gone. Well, I'm not gonna say it's gone. It's inconsistent. It's too inconsistent.
Yeah, he got to go back to that Ant.
It's
bro.
Way inconsistent. That whole team.
That Ant I was calling Baby Jordan because of the way it was the dominance. He looked dominant. You know what I mean? Like it looked, bro. He was having bro. It got to the point guys were getting off of the ball out of the inbound.
You know how good
it was inbound and that Ant was getting in front of you, and they was just like, I'm good.
I do not want the ball. You know how good that has to feel for you to be superstar, and people are like, nah, we don't want to go at you. Like, no, we'll go somewhere else. And that's the person that you need to tire out. But you just like,
that's the one.
I'd rather not. But, and man, I really do hope they figure it out. I do think there will be more guys that will decide to say, you know what?
I'm going to stay where I'm at.
This team. I'm going to stay on this team because the probability, one, how they're going to talk about me if I leave. Like, even with Giannis, people are saying, oh, Giannis, go ahead and leave. Like, y'all going to clown Giannis if he leaves and then doesn't win somewhere else.
Yeah,
like,
well, you already know that's coming.
What benefit? Like, people are going to talk about you regardless. They're going to talk about you if you stay. They're going to talk about you if you leave. And the only way even if you do win sometimes too, depending on the circumstance, they may find a way to put an asterisk next to that W that you got somewhere else. They may say, oh, this team got hurt, or you had this person and they didn't have this. Now y'all keep pushing the goalposts. So we've talked about it a million times, bro. I hope Booker stays in Phoenix forever. I hope Golden State keeps Steph. Like, it's okay. It's what getting old looks like. If you need to lose. But he is one guy that deserves, I'm not saying no one else does. He deserves to go out that way. No one had a problem with Kobe and Lakers losing. No one had a problem with it. He's been your guy.
Definitely deserves to go out the right way.
He got you those rings. I don't care if y'all lose these next 2-3
years.
If that's what he wants.
Yep. Take care of that, man.
Because you wouldn't have the franchise that you have now without Stephen Curry. Without 30. I'm not saying you don't have that without, because you already got rid of Clay. Draymond's probably next. Like, we know Steph is going to be the one shining star that you're going to keep and stick around if he wants to. But keep guys put. I think it's good for the game. It's good for history. It's good for legacy. Even if you don't win, like we talk about Allen Iverson so much and we attach him to Philly. And I wish Allen Iverson stayed and
was there and
had the opportunity to stay in Philly.
He's another
because
one.
We get attached. Think about the attachments we have to players that played in certain places. T-Mac in the Orlando jersey. T-Mac, what he did in Houston. Like, so if we can make, these comparisons and these attractions based on a player in a certain jersey, like, what do you think we'll feel like with someone being at a team that also excels and does well at one location? As I said, Damian Lillard, man. He's broken a lot of records in Portland. I hope he continues to do it. Booker, I hope he does it. And is on his way. He's pretty much almost shattered everything in Minnesota. Like those also the records that I like to see people chase.
Yeah,
Like to see it,
those
to
franchise joints.
see those franchise because it brings. That's why I like to see the basketball community come together and talk about guys and what their franchise has done. Like it got to be a good feeling to play for like Boston or Lakers, where you just got so much rich history. And that's what you're chasing, and that's a high expectation. Like what
Mm.
Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown are doing, bruh, bravo.
Hats off to you,
Because y'all
seriously.
y'all are chasing some serious ghosts. Some
Especially
serious
Boston boy.
ghosts.
Woo.
Bro, some ghosts that they're chasing there. So but last piece, man, before we get out, the W has finally reached an agreement. They've increased the salary cap. They're increasing the supermax for the individual players' pay. They're increasing the league minimum. Bro, I'm happy. I'm super,
Yes.
super happy for the W. And I know a lot of people are making jokes, but people don't realize how young the W is, and it's only going to continue to grow. Now, my thoughts to you is, what do you think the W needs to do to continue to grow? Because this can't be where, we're going to get here and we're going to stay here for the next 20 years. What do they do to continue to grow and develop the game to where the W can continue to get what they feel like they deserve?
Well, outside of the increases to player salaries, to team salary cap, which obviously is going to allow teams to have a little bit more flexibility in who they bring in and how many players they can have on roster. I appreciate the fact that they added 2 additional developmental spots. That's going to be huge because the turnover in the W is disgusting.
Yeah, it's bad. And more teams are coming too.
Which is going to be huge. So,
more teams.
In order to sustain the success, I think it's twofold. One, what you just mentioned, is expansion. That's going to be significant because you're going to be bringing in new demographics of fans. You're going to be bringing in new demographics of markets for players. You're going to be bringing in a greater access in terms of, where do you evaluate talent, how you go about evaluating talent. All of that is going to grow. So I'm excited for that. The second thing, and the most important piece, they have to be more intentional about diversifying the market share of players in the NBA. Meaning, it feels right now, in terms of marketing, Caitlin Clark owns about 80% of the market share, and the rest of the W has the other 20.
Yeah.
Which is the problem. Because there are so many young ladies, game plus personality, that you could be marketing that will bring other types of fan bases. I think about somebody like Dejanay Carrington. Maybe not a household name unless you really follow the W. But Dejanay is one. She's one of the prettiest, most like pop culture aesthetic women in the W. Like she looks like a
and she's a hooper.
Like a real all NBA defensive team, serious hooper. But she looks like she could be on Howard's campus. She look like she could be in Atlanta. She look like she could live in LA. She looks like how these young sisters look.
And they're not pushing.
That's a mistake. That's a mistake. And on the flip side of that, someone like Cameron Brink, for similar reasons. You got this tall 6'3" Amazonian girl who graduated from Stanford.
Connected with Steph.
She's a Barbie doll.
She's the guy, Steph and them, like his dad.
How is she not walking during fall weekend in Paris? How is she not walking in Milan? Are you kidding me?
Angel, that should be a trio. You're pushing all 3 of them in a package. This is how we need to, they have so many marketing opportunities. Then me and you were like,
you don't want to push the fly Detroit girl?
I don't know. And that's, bro, I agree. They got to find a better way. And yes, what Caitlin has done, we both understand that. She's helped polarize the game and has helped majority get them to this point because of her name alone. But that is too much of a weight to bear for one person because also if she gets hurt, now what layer do you have to stand on?
She got hurt this past season and she barely played. And a lot of the viewership in the game started to go down.
People stop going to games. And that's not just home games. That's away games. Because people
you're right. That was away games too. Yep.
And that's when is an issue because now you rent it out. You have NBA arenas now, for when Caitlin comes
Correct.
into town, and then now
Correct.
she can't fill those seats. You got a problem. That's why you got to find a way to push other players, and it can't just be. It can't only be talent alone. You have to find players that have a little bit of both. Like
Personality, a little bit of yep.
there's still NBA players that they push that may not be the best player in the NBA. Like we push PJ Tucker, Dennis Rodman. Like we push guys.
Great example, bro.
For what they do, because you're still a part of a team. Like, cause I love the way that Houston Rockets team dynamic was with James, and you had a mixture of everything. You had Trevor Ariza, who came from like that Kobe branch. You had CP. You had Clint Capella, who was young, and we saw a different dynamic.
We didn't know what he was going to be. Yes.
Eric Gordon, who was like the OG of that team. Gerald Green, who's a Houston native, he's like a Jamal Crawford, Lou Will. He's in that mode of just a hooper. And you were able to push that team. The W needs to find a way to push players and teams in that same way. Like, what is going to be your niche? Like, how do you want to market these women? Because so many of them are very, like you just mentioned, bro, they're so marketable. There's so marketable.
There's so much.
It's so much you can do. It's so much you can do with them. And I just feel like they haven't pushed enough. And I think, especially with the ownership people who are investing into these teams, they got to get aggressive with pushing these women. Like the personalities you gotta push them. If you're not pushing them in front of people, it's gonna be tough. You can't wait for Juju.
You can't wait. You can't wait
for Juju.
So, and there's a market in the demographic for every single one of those young ladies. I think about somebody like Skylar Diggins, right? Who at this point is kind of an OG, but I ain't gonna hold you. Skylar was the first young lady that
one
we thought was cold.
The one,
like
the one.
She was the one. Like if you a millennial, she's it. She's it. You thought she was cold. Like, and the fact that y'all haven't done more to promote even Skylar. Like now, as a she's a mom. She, obviously I don't want to talk about her personal business, but she's a mom. She was, a spouse for a while, and there was so much more y'all could have been pushing around that.
Beautiful. She's in the fashion.
Like bro.
Pioneer. She's a pioneer. But her physique, again, I'm not on the bit, but like, bro, she cut up, bro. Like,
she's cut.
She
should be on the Women's Health magazine.
Y'all have to push, like, y'all should be pushing her to where, like, man, let's give her a retirement tour when she's ready. Like, this is Skylar Diggins. She is one of the pioneers of how the women are able to look at this game and be fly and have the headband and do the certain ponytail. And then, like, the same with Juju. Y'all need to find a way to trademark her bun that she does and push that. Yep. Like, you got to find the little stuff that makes these players marketable. Like, we know Skylar from Notre Dame and how she hooped at Notre Dame. We know how Candace was at Tennessee. And I still think they're struggling with Asia. I agree. Think they've maximized Asia's potential in a marketing standpoint.
Really doesn't promote Asia at all. Nike does an exceptional job.
Nike does. Yeah.
Nike kills it. Everything I ever see for Asia from Nike is incredible. But the W, I honestly, I can't speak to one marketing campaign the W has led with Asia as the face. I can't speak to one. And this lady is a 4-time fucking MVP. 4!
She's your GOAT in real time that's still playing.
He's a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year and has won three chips.
And it's about to win more.
Already. Huh?
And it's about to win more. And she's somebody who you're going to have one of the first Supermaxes too. Hey, and you're not pushing her?
No BS. Asia might mess around and be a couple thousand points shot of however many points Bam ends up scoring in his career, nigga. And she only plays 5 months. Like, I'm not exaggerating.
Plays 5 months, bro.
Bam is probably going to end he's probably going to finish being a 22,000 point scorer in his career, probably 20,000. Right? Asia might finish with 16, 17, playing 5 months of basketball. I don't think y'all understand how hard that is, bro. I don't think y'all are doing this math, bro. What?
And she's really good, bro. And the year that they had when they gutted their team, and they didn't have a normal season, but then they got to the playoffs and then they won. People was like, oh, Asia really
She had a Steph
got
type
got up.
year.
Yes, she
When
had
Steph went in
Steph
22,
last one.
she had
Yeah,
that.
that's what it was, bro.
Everybody was wondering why Steph was so emotional and was so, because he carried
Yeah, this
that
was tough,
team
bro.
on his back.
This was tough, bro. This meant something to me.
And so, yeah, she has a similar impact for the W. And so, listen, man, I think this CBA will last until 2030, and then we'll see. We'll see.
Great. Cool. I'm looking forward to it, bro. I think there's a lot of
Yeah,
good stuff
likewise.
happening. Great to see the W get back rolling. Excited to see the rest of how March Madness plays out. And then
Yep.
lastly, man,
Oh,
we're gonna
my
kick in the
God.
overdrive. We're gonna kick in the overdrive with these playoffs. And hopefully we get a good playoffs. I hate all these injuries that happen. We guys
I
like
know,
with
bro. That
Cade
ruins it, bro.
in Denver. And I'm just like, at this point, I do want some of these contending teams like, bro, just stay where you're at in the standings and let's just get to the playoffs. Like, let's
Hurry
just
up.
skip these next 15 games. Let these guys get healthy, man, because I want to see these dudes compete.
Might not be a bad idea, even if they just cut 10 games. Just cut the
Just
last
cut
10,
them,
bro.
bro.
And let's just
Just
get to the
cut 'em, bro.
playoffs, man. Y'all wasting time.
Just cut them, bro. And I want to say, hopefully somebody shocks us. I think we may have a shocker in the East. I don't think none
Yeah.
of the Western games are shockers. Like if the 6 seed beats the number 2 or 1, I don't think that's a shock to me, because all those teams in the West pretty much can compete. But the Eastern Conference, like what is Cleveland going to do? What is Orlando going to do? Was Detroit, Atlanta, if they stay in that 8th spot, Boston? I know we talked last episode. I said Boston was going to go. Just because I think Detroit, you can limit them so much with just having just one player that can do
Yeah.
it. And then now Jason Tatum coming back, and I'm like, oh, they about to try to sweep everybody.
Yeah, they really
Because I
on
don't
it
trust
now.
the Knicks. I don't trust the Knicks either. I think the Knicks, they've lost some confidence in themselves. There's too much JB. I just don't think that roster works. I don't know.
Mhm.
But
I think you're on something with that.
we'll see, man. But overall, again, everyone watching, we appreciate you. Continue
Always.
to like, comment, subscribe. And we're looking forward to give you all some more content. Again, with March
Yep.
Madness, NBA playoffs, we'll have some more guests on. And we should have another guest on next week. But again, appreciate you all for tuning in. And we'll see you all next show.